easier for me. It's the levels than you.
Yeah, I reckon that's good.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
This isn't one to have bad audio.
Yeah. Goodbye and welcome to another episode of Boys Gone Wild.
I don't want to start.
Do you see it?
Start
No,
like that.
no, that's a good start because I always say hello and welcome.
Yeah,
to an
goodbye.
episode.
I know.
Instead, it's goodbye and welcome. to
Goodbye
another.
and welcome.
Goodbye and hello
And
welcome.
farewell.
This is I guess a special episode of Boys Gone Wild. This is the last time we'll ever be in this studio.
Unless things go really poorly in the future.
What would have to happen?
We would have to move back in.
I guess that.
I
Yeah,
guess
that's,
if- I'm actually trying to work out how we could
That'd be an
happen.
absolute disaster.
Well, if the house is terrible and our landlord's like, you're the only people that can save it.
That's in some ways.
It doesn't
that's-
make any sense. We can
Yeah,
move on.
no, but in some ways that's quite positive. If it's like
Yeah.
the
Or
house
that
needs us.
we'll be the only people who would accept living here.
Yeah, I guess if World War III starts now, that everything falls through,
Yeah.
and we use this to
Do you think
hunker
if
down.
World War III starts, we'd lose our new houses?
Well, I guess so. I think we'd hunker down as this is like a.
This is definitely more of a bunker than our other houses. Yeah.
But I guess we wanted to sort of. I don't know how much of a big deal we should.
People are going to freak out
Yeah.
because it's our autistic fan base who is
Exactly.
going to be.
Well, it's only
there's
ever-
change.
It's only ever been. It's been in the shed when I was doing
Yeah.
it, and then we've only ever done it here.
We've only ever done it here. Boys Got Wild. We've only
So yeah, I guess I'm trying to. I just don't know how big a deal to make out of it. You know,
for us, it's not
Thoughts,
really.
feelings, comments.
Yeah, for us, it's not a massive deal.
No, because I've
Because we
wanted to
don't-
move
yeah.
out of this place
For a
anyway.
while.
So
So
that's
for
my
us, it's a positive.
That's my general feeling about the house is that it's like
Yeah.
I've been here for so long, so that you kind of I'm trying to force some tears
Yeah.
and stuff, but
But you're just
I'm
so glad
ready
to leave.
I'm so ready to leave that it's like
Yeah. Well,
You
this
know.
will be my last time in the house for 100%. So,
Do you think?
Yeah, because I'm going to France this evening.
Yeah.
So,
that's it
but I'm going to walk past here pretty much every day.
exactly.
Weird, isn't it?
Yeah,
Because I'm going to be peeping through the windows.
definitely. I mean, it's a very open house. It's
Yeah.
very you don't have much privacy. We've been moving out of this place all of the last couple of days, and as you do when you're clearing out, you pile up a lot of bin bags, right?
Yeah.
And we've often had problems with our bin bags because
Is that the end of the farewell to the studio?
No, we'll come back.
Yeah, okay, fine. Let's give it a bit more than that.
No,
So anyway,
that's kind of working within the house.
It's in the ilk of it.
So unlike every house on our road, which has the infamous London black railings, you might have seen them in Paddington 2, Mary
the-
Poppins,
Yeah. Can't think of any films like that.
news footage of Assange being dragged out of the Ecuadorian embassy.
Yeah. Iconic railings or iconic ties. Those are the three things I
Yeah.
think of when I think of London.
And the railings, they're an iconic aesthetic of London, but the main thing is that they defend your bins, right? For some reason, we don't have those railings.
It's a very loose defence. Like
Yeah.
if someone wants to get at your bins, a railing isn't going to stop
it's
them.
more of a principle.
Yeah.
Don't
It's
be
saying,
don't
"Oi."
be don't be rooting around my
Yeah.
bins.
Yeah.
For some reason we don't. So that means
Because we live in the overtly shit house of the whole neighbourhood.
Yeah,
and the landlord doesn't care
if
about
it was a group, if our street was a group photo, our house is the ugly guy with acne with the ball out.
Yeah.
You know,
With the
And
ball out?
He's got like a testicle. Yeah, you know.
Okay. Holding a football for some reason is funnier than having just a full pull out. I think it's just like, how isn't he a bit old
He's
to be
got
playing? He's like 30. Isn't he a bit old to be playing football?
Yeah, this is a wedding. Why has he
Yeah.
got-
Always has to have his football.
So it's always been open to the elements, and foxes regularly route around our bins.
Yeah.
But we had like 20 bags out the front. Well, actually, probably like 12. I'm
Big.
glad
Wow.
I changed
Wow,
that.
big numbers.
I was worried you'd pull me up on
reporting,
it.
I was like, honest reporting is important. Yeah, around 12, 20 was the end.
No,
goal.
my new house resolution is less hyperbole.
Yeah. Well, we're fucked then. we
I don't know what
literally,
this podcast is going to be.
that's our bread and butter.
So when Adam came back yesterday, before anyone else, we're doing some bits in the house, he saw all of those bins completely shredded open, stuff everywhere. I might put a picture up. I don't know if I can be asked, but
We'll
it's
see.
such a spectacular image of the front of our house.
Put it up. But
Because I don't think people believe just how fucked our house can be sometimes.
But an interesting clue about that was that there wasn't like remnants of bin bags. The bin bags seem to have disappeared completely from view.
Yeah.
which was an interesting clue because when foxes come in, they'll take a couple of chomps out, but they're quite messy eaters. Foxes, famously,
They don't have a lot else on their mind other than food, I reckon.
Yeah. Well, but it was so if you look at that picture, you can't really see any. So there were 12 bin bags.
Yeah.
If a fox had been at it, you'd expect to see some torn up bin bags.
Yeah.
But weirdly, with that, it was the absence of bin bags.
So all of the waste from mainly my room, to be honest, was just
I've
scattered.
heard the word waste so many times in the last week for moving. It's driving me fucking mental. I can't talk about waste or like different interior design.
We're going to talk about waste.
We're going to talk about waste. Let's go. Onwards and upwards.
Strewn all over the street. I don't know if you're walking
It
past
was
that
like a
house,
scene out of Mad Max Fury Road.
but if I saw someone's house like that, I don't think I've ever seen that much. I've never seen that much waste outside anyone's house ever.
No. It looks deliberately placed, particularly without the bin bags.
But I can't imagine just the neighbour's house having
That much waste.
That's crazy. I just can't imagine walking. That's fucking mad.
It's a lot of waste. I guess
and
it is.
basically, we started thinking that maybe it wasn't foxes. Almost, it couldn't have been
The
foxes.
theory was that maybe like someone had gone past and saw that that many bin bags, you're thinking these fuckers are moving out.
There's some gold dust in here.
Maybe there's some shit that they.
To be fair, it was bags of cash that we were
Yeah.
like, we kind of.
We'll keep them here for now, and we'll come back and get them once the full movie's done.
Well, I was more thinking, can I be asked to put this in the bank?
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
It's
Do you know what I mean?
it's all the way out there.
It's all the way out there.
We'll leave
So,
them in there.
£500,000 worth of
Yeah,
cash.
it's all our Patreon money that usually lines the walls.
But when you're throwing stuff out, it's better just to be like, just get rid of it. You're never going to use it.
That was when
That's
we were.
what I thought about the cash. I'm
Yeah.
like, just put it in the bin.
Well, there's no room. I don't want the new place to be cluttered.
Drew was standing there with wads of cash saying, let's just chuck it in the bin.
chuck it.
You'll never use it.
Never use
it will
it
sit
again.
in your new flat and you'll never...
Untouched. You'll regret bringing it. It's going to clutter the place up. It's going to be messy.
Trust
bin
me.
it.
Somebody's got to be the tough guy. I think,
It's
sort
true.
of.
I love binning stuff. I've realised
It's great.
Yeah, because yesterday when we were going through, there's two types. There's two types of people. It's not like fucking BuzzFeed, but there are two types of people. There's because Adam was like going, oh yeah, and looking at like I don't know half a Dijon mustard from a year ago, being like, I guess I was like,
Just bin it.
bin it,
Just bin it.
bin everything,
Yeah.
and it's quite it's a cathartic.
It's great. It's good.
Thing to it. But go on.
Yeah, so Adam then, because he was the only one here, painstakingly rebagged everything, right? And then I come an hour and a half later, and they've been rebagged, but they've got loads of
This
holes
is
in them.
outside the front of our house, by the way.
Yeah, they've got loads of holes in them, and I was like, oh, I guess Adam used the remnants of the bin bags to
Right.
put it back in.
A controversial decision.
I was
but-
like, it's a bit weird. I'm going to rebag these. This is crazy.
Right.
And then I tell Adam, I'm going to rebag the front. There's holes in them. He's like, no, there's not. I was like, yeah,
Yeah.
there is. He comes and checks, and basically he's been cleaning the bathroom for 45 minutes after rebagging them.
45
and
minutes.
in that time, the homeless person, or the fox,
yeah.
or the fox man, we don't know who, has come back.
The fox man.
And had another go at the bins.
So,
Well, there was less bins when it was rebagged.
but no, we have. There's more to the story.
Yeah.
The bin. There's like a local bin
Yeah.
man. He's not really. He seems to be like a private bin man. He doesn't seem to work for anyone. He goes around and
Or
hides.
vigilante bin man.
I think he's a vigilante bin man. Like
What, taking
Batman, but
the
bin
waste
man.
into his own
bin
hands?
Batman. Bin Batman.
Bin man.
Bin. Yeah. Well, that's the problem.
Yeah,
I
I guess.
encountered. Yeah. bin Batman. Bin Batman. Bin Batman.
The dark, the
Dark
waste
bin,
night.
The what other superheroes are there? Captain Binman.
Sure. So we met Captain Binman.
Yeah. No, I prefer Bin
I
Batman.
met Captain Binman. I
Bin
don't know why
Batman.
you're telling the story. I was
Well,
there.
because this is the thing.
Yeah.
Is that he'd said when he was doing his rounds, his vigilante rounds,
Yeah.
he said, "Oh, I've seen a lady." Well, you tell.
Well, he was sort of laughing, sort of like,
It is funny.
Yeah, it is funny.
If it wasn't my house, I was laughing anyway.
It was. I think it was sort of implying. Did you know that woman who was
Yeah.
rooting through your
your-
bins?
your
Was that
mum?
you? And I was
No,
like,
no.
no. And who? I was trying to get as much information out of him as possible without sounding rude, because I just wanted to paint a picture.
How would you sound rude?
So I said,
How would you sound rude?
well, I asked, was she high? Oh no,
Oh,
at first
you didn't
I
want to be
firstly
insensitive
asked,
to-
were they homeless?
Yeah.
And he said, yeah. And then I said, were they high? And then he said, about this tall.
Yeah,
And I was
different
like,
word.
I'm going
So let's bar that one.
I got as much as I possibly could.
Yeah.
I was so fascinated by the kind of person who did it.
You
Like,
saw bad headlines, so you were like,
you know,
let's be.
It'd be great if it was like a woman in like a Hillary Clinton pantsuit, maybe.
Yeah.
That would be fascinating, wouldn't it?
It would,
You know,
yeah.
someone who...
Well, like a klepto.
What's that mean? again?
Kleptomaniac, love stealing, obsessed with stealing, compulsively
See.
stealing. So
on the
it's
lunch break from her job at KPMG.
KPMG or PwC, other brands are available. My dad actually worked for PwC. So
did he?
We're at PwC.
Well, that's one of the things about not working at radio. Every time you mention a brand, you actually have to
You
say
have to
other.
say it, yeah.
Which
we
is-
had to do it on the
which is
student
ridiculous.
podcast.
Yeah, and we probably would have to say other brands were
available.
available for PwC if you want your financial consultant.
Yeah, other financial consultants are available.
Yeah,
Anyway,
I'm more of a PwC man myself.
yeah,
I
me,
feel.
yeah. If you cut us open, etc., etc. We're a PwC family. But yeah, so what did they say?
So it was clearly a homeless lady who was.
That's
this
the end
tall
of the questions
and skinny,
for me.
Skinny.
The skinny makes me feel sad.
Yeah, it does actually. But yeah,
Homeless is enough to be like, because if I was homeless,
yeah.
I would, and I saw 12 bin bags outside someone's house, and they'll be around here. You know, I think it's a big event when we move out.
Yeah.
The kind of the close knows about it. I'd be like, they've probably thrown some stuff out that I could use. And to be honest, you threw out quite a lot of camping equipment.
Yeah.
So like, fucking quid's in, I think.
Well, I guess what was pretty I wonder if it was the same person both times, or did word get round? So there's an absolute gold mine outside.
Yeah, like I've already been through it, but they're gonna rebag it, and there's
But
gonna be
if
more.
it was the same person twice, I guess there was a kind of a heartbreak because they were rebagged. They probably thought, oh, fresh gear.
Yeah.
They
But it
probably
was
went back.
old repurposed gear.
And then they looked back and it was like, this is the same old shit. And they're looking
Banging
at
on the door, furious.
This is rubbish.
This is the same rubbish as last time.
I like just looking at, oh, this is rubbish.
This is just rubbish, isn't it?
who would want this?
Where's the new rubbish? Throw more things out. Yeah, so we've had to keep the bin in the garden.
Yeah.
Which is it's a bleak enough house as it
Yeah.
is, but now it's just like piles of bin bags in the garden, which the foxes are probably going to get out.
Yeah. If you caught someone roofing through your bins, we
I'm
talked about
not-
this on the Patreon about how much Old Testament justice you'd serve.
And I'm poor at that.
You're poor.
You know, I'm really
you have
not
a very
old.
like
I'm
holistic
like,
view of society.
yeah.
And I believe in giving what for.
You believe in giving the lady a claw, is what you believe in.
No, I wouldn't cart a lady. I would give I was about to say ruddy sing.
So much words. So much words.
But I would be telling her off.
I think I'd go,
And I've never-
"Oi!" And that's all I can muster. I don't think
And
I
just
could-
wait for them to scram.
Yeah, like a kind of a dog caught in the act of eating
Well,
a
it's just,
pie.
what the bloody hell are you doing? I'd want to.
Like, what do you...
Yeah.
Well, no, because you know
There
what
was
they're doing. You know what she's doing.
immense disrespect for the social contract. You know.
Well,
It's like-
the social contract hasn't exactly served
Yeah.
her particularly well.
It's
So,
true.
you know,
if you don't have a stake in society.
the only thing is like you can rifle through our bins,
Yeah.
but can you do it so we don't have to repackage it?
That's what I mean.
If they untied the knot and then like dug in like a digger thing and then retied it, God bless you.
Because we watched documentaries at school about how evil Tesco's was because they put like poison on their
Oh,
bins
yeah,
to stop.
yeah.
And I remember thinking
now
like
you're on Tesco's
that's-
side.
Well, I get
Poison.
Well, part of me is like, well, maybe this is an aspect of the story you don't see.
You're really getting older now.
But
You're like,
maybe that because in my
more
head,
poison in the bins.
are they just chucking everything everywhere and then someone has to clean that up? That's an element that I'd never thought about, you know?
Getting old.
Well, no, I've just been a victim.
You've moved out of a shit house. Now it's like, actually, I think Tesco should put more poison in the bins. Because that must be a bloody hard thing to clear up on a regular basis. No, yeah, I suppose the mess angle.
I'd never even thought about it.
How many times would it take for that to happen if we had to keep putting it out there for you to put poison on the bin bags?
Once more.
Once more. Three. Yeah, three.
I
Rule of
mean,
three.
yeah, it's a sign of madness doing the same thing twice, expecting different results, isn't it?
It's true, yeah. But if we had to do it, because we're going to have to do it.
Are you insane? Put poison on it.
Poison the bin bags. Poison them. Yeah, no, I don't know.
I wouldn't poison it, but I think I don't know what the ethics of like fun traps. Like, what about a stink? No, but like a stink bomb or something.
Fun traps. Oh,
Yeah.
like prank things.
Yeah,
A stink bomb.
yeah.
So how, like a kind of...
I guess this is what
trap.
London does do this to you.
Yeah.
Where you start... it's like a really liberal, multicultural city. But then you just have like really small...
But then there's actually...
case by case moments of like...
when you actually interact with a stranger, it's all hell breaks loose. It's kind of like... It's like the wild.
Well, because Paddy's going through a lot of stuff with... Outside his window are the loudest Romanian people in the world. Like,
right.
They're just all day.
Yeah.
And he's got stink bombs. He's gonna stink... Because they're just... All they do is loiter on his corner, playing music... shouting, hitting each other. Yeah, one of them like hit a woman.
Was it an argument?
Yeah, but then she didn't even care when she got hit because
Right.
she seemingly got hit so much.
It's not a good sign, is it?
And so maybe a stink. So he's getting stink bombs, and I'm like,
How has he engaged?
And it is kind of what
has he
London does to
engaged
you.
verbally?
no.
You can't go straight to stink bomb. Absolutely no. I'd
But
be
then
on his
also,
side.
what's how much of an insult is a stink bomb?
You can't throw stink bombs at people.
It's like
you can
it's
throw
like a Joss Williams.
That is one, and it's the coward's way out. You can't like not say anything and then just throw a stink bomb at someone. You've got to give them a chance.
It's like you're in the Beano.
Yeah, it is. But then it's also like it seems like look as well. The Romanian he's on the territory of a hate crime there. One wrong word.
It's not because he's Romanian.
I know, but bearing in mind they're hanging out there.
It has changed
They're
his view of
hanging out-
Romanians, though.
Naturally, I'm sure. Yeah. So does working for that as well. But naturally, if they're hanging out there, they have no one's complained about it, seemingly, and then someone just throws a stink bomb. Do you know what I mean? If he goes like, guys, can you shut the fuck up? You're here every night, blah, 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 says that a few times, and then a stink bomb comes, that's like, I gave you a warning, here's the stink bomb.
Yeah.
So this is the last one of the studio. The Boys Gone Wild sign has been retired from the wall. For those of you that aren't listening to the podcast, it's ceremonially hanging in place of the elephant on the table.
I guess this is sort of like, I guess when Britain gave back Hong Kong and there was sort of the lowering of the flag.
Yeah.
That's the sort of what this is reminding me of. Sort of changing the guard.
So are we giving back this studio
Yeah.
to be repurposed?
Well, Hong Kong was rented for 200 years. It was.
I am just trying to talk about us leading
But I'm
this.
saying that I'm just trying to draw the comparison. So I guess this is going back to its.
Yeah, I guess we're. It's almost
we're
like
custodians.
Yeah, well, it's colonial as well,
Yeah.
isn't it? We're kind of we're leaving the country. There's been an independence riot of this room, and we're leaving it. But it's off the wall. There'll be no more podcasts of this view.
No.
I mean, most people listen to it anyway. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'd think so.
Most people listen.
I mean,
to
it is actually a real ball, like having to have any video element. To be honest, like
Yeah,
think
it would
about
be a lot
before.
easier.
Think about just the audio thing,
Yeah.
and also how regularly I look like shit, even though it is video. Like, imagine me with audio.
No, you look.
Thanks,
you always
man.
look great.
Cheers. I'm glad you said
everyone
that.
thinks it's going. No,
I do look good.
Well, you say you look great.
No, you
That's
actually
right.
changed my mind
Yeah,
immediately.
Really great.
I look
Yeah,
great.
he looks
I look
great,
better than
man.
you regularly.
Yeah, all the time.
You're ugly.
I'm a mean, ugly boy. Stupid poo face.
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah. So I think for many, it won't be that big a deal.
Yeah.
But we don't really know what we're doing for the new one.
I think there'll be quite a few little interim.
There's going to be interim ones, so it's not going to look like how it's because I think it's going to look a bit shit for a bit.
Yeah. I don't know if they care too much. Yeah.
People are going to freak out because even if we were like an hour late for an episode, but it's still going to come on the same day, an hour later. People are freaking out about timings. Whereas think about that, like it's never gonna look like this again.
What I imagine is like this is just sort of like an AI ChatGPT rendering
Is
of.
it GPT?
I couldn't care less.
Fair enough.
I genuinely couldn't care less.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Yeah, that's justified. We're trying to do an emotional bit. It's like, which one is it? Is it that? We have racist thoughts.
If there was like a AI rendering of classic BGW listener.
Yeah.
Them listen to this episode, it would be like, I mean, they'll all be a bit warped because it's AI, but it'd be just sort of a vague thing. But I imagine it's kind of like a guy who gets out of bed. He puts on the same. He has a cupboard with all the same t-shirts,
And then a mini fridge in his room of cans of Monster.
and it's all the same flavour.
All the same flavour.
But he's got a routine, right? So
Yeah.
it's Friday.
Ugh.
His alarm bell rings at 8:45.
Horrible time.
So and
weird time
gets
to
out
wake
of
up.
bed. He puts on his Boys Gone Wild socks.
Yeah,
right.
available now.
He puts his Boys Gone Wild gilet on.
Coming soon.
Puts his Boys Gone Wild tennis visor. He gets set up in his chair, right? And then he's got
Can of Monster and a
well,
slice of cheese.
He's got two giant like holders there. For
Oh, I just realised why you said 8:45 because I didn't realise he was going to be a mega fan.
Yeah,
so he's,
yeah, it's fine.
he's waking up for
Yeah.
the 9 a.m.
And this is all built into the routine, you know.
Yeah.
This is, you know.
Yeah.
And then he gets
like a
there.
gaming setup.
He likes to be at least 2 minutes before it drops at 9 a.m. just so he has everything set up in case something happens.
Yeah.
And he waits for the next 2 minutes just like this.
Does he
Just like,
refresh? But he doesn't refresh because he's been there too often. As soon he looks at the clock, it hits
Yeah.
9, and then that
bang,
refresh.
he
bang.
clicks on it and then immediately dies. his brain, he has an aneurysm, he has a stroke.
So that nearly works.
That's what I see
It doesn't
happening.
work because we're still in the same.
Oh no, not this one then. The next
Well,
one.
to be fair, with the sign down, that's enough for him to die.
No, that will give him a heart attack.
That'll do him.
No, but he'll
That'll do
survive.
him. What's his name?
It's AI, so this is not a real person. This is crushing all the data of all
like
our fans and creating.
Glamorgan.
It would be something like
Romney.
It would be something more like Glemdrew.
Glam.
Well, that's too
Glambot.
close to you. His name's Glem.
Clem. That's it. Clem. Clem. I don't like that.
They've combined all the names, and AI has rendered Clem.
If that was,
So this is not a real person, but if you crush together all of them, this is what their daily
I think
routine looks
the
like.
AI rendering of the average fan, I think would make me want to quit.
I don't know. To be fair, you know, I make fun of the fans a lot. I'm very. It could have been a lot worse. And every time I meet podcast fans on the road,
It's true, they're always young and
great.
sexy.
They're great. They're hot.
Yeah,
I
you
like
put this
though.
image in my mind that they're all like troll people.
That's all Finn vs. the Internet fans.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, you can see exactly why. Just the horrible.
But Boys Gone Wild, it's normally it's hot chicks, but less. To be honest, I don't know if we're getting more hot chicks.
Less.
Like we had like a big influx. There was
Yeah.
a moment when it was 50-50.
Yeah.
But the fellas are taking over.
The fellas have really taken over.
It's January 6th.
Yeah.
Is happening to our
Yeah.
audience.
Yeah. Well,
It's
so
a lot-
men have stormed the gates and they're refusing to leave and they're sitting in our chairs.
They're taking a shit on Nancy Pelosi's desk.
Yeah, well, our desk.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's true. But yeah, so we're gonna have some interim episodes for a bit, as before Aisha goes to Edinburgh. But we'll get podcasts out.
So yeah, it's gonna be a bumpy couple of
it's gonna be a bumpy month.
months, 2 months, right? Because Edinburgh.
Oh, God,
'cause
yeah.
we're batch cooking.
We're batch
but
cooking.
September
We'll get
we're gonna revamp, and it's gonna be better than ever.
And I guess
What-
let's leave some mystery.
Yeah,
because that's
but I
a
mean,
good
the
marketing
plan with
thing.
September is to make changes so big that we have an entirely new demographic.
Barely recognisable as Boys Gone Wild.
So anything that you liked
we're
about
not
it-
going to host it.
Yeah.
We're going to produce it and edit it, and we're going to bring in some different people. But it's a big revamp. But yeah, time to move on. Just goodbye now. Like,
Well, you got to, yeah. I
See
guess we
ya.
should say some astute things about.
well, I wanted to do a clip show for this.
Yeah. Well, it's like what in your head? What was the classic?
It would
clip
be like,
show?
oh, and of course we all remember that time, and then
But
we
is it
look
like
back.
in Friends?
Yeah.
When they're all sat around.
Sitcom clip
Yeah.
show. Well, the only it will be a fake episode. To be honest,
Yeah.
it wouldn't have been a bad idea. I
Yeah.
know it would be because it would be a fucking nightmare to
Nightmare.
edit. But yeah, it'll be like, oh yeah, and then but that reminds you of the time when I can't even think of a single moment of this podcast. 4 years.
How many episodes have we done here? So
Yeah, that's good. Well, it's basically 4 years. Which seems.
it's basically 200 episodes here because it's.
What are we on?
I think we're about 230.
Right. Oh, so well, a lot more then. 30 episodes is
No, because
30
33
weeks.
episodes were done in my shed.
Ah.
So it's basically we're just leaving it. We've done about
that's annoying.
about 200 episodes right here.
That's annoying.
What?
It would have been good to do like episode 200.
Yeah.
And then a new place. Like
Yeah.
it's.
But it might be. We
Might
could
be.
be.
Who cares?
I don't.
Have a look. But no, yeah, such classic moments as when I
well,
tasted
every-
cunt to a police
I mean, it's
officer.
literally every moment of the podcast that we've had. It's not.
Yeah, I know.
So it could be anything.
Yeah, exactly. But that's what clip shows do. They do the whole
When you
series.
got punched in the face.
Punch in the face.
You know.
I don't know. The felling of the Sycamore Gap tree.
Yeah. You know. You name it.
Rust.
I remember Rust. And then we'd cut to.
And then we cut
a
to
super cut.
And then we'd be like, wow, wasn't that something?
And speaking of Rust, the trial
Yes.
does start. I mean, it feels very fitting that the podcast is in complete flux at the moment, and then the kind of the biggest week in our history happens as well. I mean,
If ever we needed an infrastructure behind us,
if all the plans of mice and men, what is it? What is that? What's the? Do you know what I'm talking about?
yeah, it's a quote.
Yeah,
That's as much as I've got.
it's a Burns poem. If all the plans
If
of
all the-
mice and men were laid to rest, I'd be.
I reckon this should be
I'd
our
have lo-
last word
I'd-
on
I'd
the
have
leaving
loads-
of the studio.
It's beginning to look.
Okay. No,
It's beginning to look a bit Chris Baldwin-y.
we should finish on a pun. I'll try and think of one as we go.
But yeah,
The
no.
Rush trial is on.
Yeah.
I don't know. Is there anything specific?
Well, I saw. I watched the news today. It might be happening right now. And by the time this episode,
Where
comes
is
out,
it? In New York? Oh no,
I
it'd
don't
be in
know. And
Arizona.
I saw footage of him in the hearing.
That's fun.
And so I was watching BBC News, and they were doing coverage of it.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's fake news media, so they're not going to do real coverage. But
Naturally.
yeah.
Where do you get your news nowadays?
I get my news.
The back of cereal boxes.
It's going all right. Yeah, it's
Things seems to be fine. But that bloody squirrel just can't find his acorn at all. He just keeps getting lost in that maze.
Well, you don't just read the newspaper.
Just read the news on the back of the Nesquik box. I can never get into Nesquik cereal, even though I actually, well, I did. I say a lie. I did and have done for years. I don't eat cereal anymore, really. Not a choice, just, whatever. But
Just growing up.
They do just look like little balls of poo, don't they? That's my issue.
But
Rabbit.
do you know what I'd say?
And there's a bunny on the
Do
front.
you know what? Like a counterpoint. Rabbit shit, right? Looks weirdly edible because it looks like Nesquik.
Absolutely
So
true.
I'd say potentially
Another
it's
reason.
chicken or the egg, isn't it?
Yeah.
Nesquik or the rabbit shit.
Nesquik is the reason.
I would say
If his rabbit shit looks appetizing and that's why you like Nesquik, that is a dangerous thing to think.
I would argue that rabbit shit looks like Nesquik.
And you argue it far too often. Far too often. No, I agree. But no, there's something.
200 episodes of this.
200 episodes. Maybe we'll make a change.
Maybe that's the change.
Maybe we can leave toilet humour in the toilet. We'll leave toilet humour in the toilet of Ropery Street. Oh, we
Yeah.
can say where we are now because we're not there anymore.
Yeah, I guess so.
Ropery Street.
Well, but maybe do you think we'll get a blue plaque?
Yeah.
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 We'd probably have to invent something.
Just like, yeah. No, I don't know.
Well, this show would have to be massive. Like,
Yeah, we're no way near now. They're not going to install it tomorrow.
Would Joe Rogan get a blue
That's
plaque
what I was.
if he was?
Does
living-
Ricky
if he-
Gervais get a plaque?
So Bob Marley lived.
We've
in,
just said three different names. It's just- Bob Marley, yeah, but that's
Bob Marley lived in Chelsea for a year, and he got a blue plaque.
that's that's fair.
So I'm just saying. I guess it's like how
There's
long.
a possible trajectory, but no. But has
it's-
Ricky Gervais got one? As like the biggest UK comedian? That's the question.
Well, you have to die.
So we'll never know.
Well,
Who's dead?
We will know. We'll know.
Who's dead?
Gervais will get one. Gervais will get.
You'd think he would,
He'll
yeah.
get a blue plaque.
Yeah. Okay.
I think there's also like how long you've lived there versus how big you are as a star. So Bob Marley, massive star, didn't live there very long, still gets a blue plaque.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like they're scraping to get his name in
Yeah.
there.
4 years.
And then I think there's some people who like invented like train signals but lived in the same house forever. All right, you get a blue plaque. Do you know what I mean?
Because of the yeah. I
You're not just the guy who invented fucking I don't know traffic lights or whatever.
Whoa, that's a pretty big invention, to be honest.
You're not given a blue plaque for when he stayed in a flat for 6 months. Do you know what I mean?
No,
he has
no.
to.
He has to have lived there forever.
And hope,
Yeah,
well,
that's true.
ideally, come up with traffic lights in that place.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Looking out of one of those windows, thinking, "Do you know what we do?"
At the risk of being incredibly boring as we continue
Do you have
this.
goosebumps?
Not at all. My hairs have gone inwards into my blood. What if a guy came over for like a month, invented traffic lights? He lived in Manchester. He comes to London and invents traffic lights in that flat. He goes, Eureka! Traffic lights. No, it's just then he moves out. He was there for like a staycation.
Well, if there was an
Does
iconic,
he get a plaque?
well, if there was an iconic story like Eureka obviously was
But
the
it
Greek
isn't
guy
that
in
story.
the bath.
Let's not confuse it. Yeah,
But if part of the press of the traffic lights was like,
that's where he came up.
well,
with
it was more like a lot of.
Okay.
There's media attention outside.
There isn't media
at his
attention.
Manchester
Forget
home.
that bit. There isn't.
They're like, oh, this is brilliant. How did you come up with this?
Yeah.
And he said, well, it's a funny story.
Yeah. If there's a funny... No, there's not that.
Okay, well, then no.
Then no. I guess that's the end of that bit. What was what's Russ? So he's what did you hear about the years? You said something about the years.
Oh, I
earlier.
think he's at risk. So we've got some stakes now. He's at risk of going away for manslaughter for 4 years, I think.
If Borders gets 4
Or
years.
no, I just watched the Denzel Washington film Flight, where he was at risk of going away for 4 years. So it's a year and a half, actually.
Yeah,
I'm getting confused.
a year and a half.
It involved 2 hearings.
Good start to
both
your anti-hyperbole.
potentially gross negligence.
Right, yeah.
Actually quite similar. I wouldn't mind Denzel Washington playing Baldwin in a biopic.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah.
We've already been through what it's called. We've done that a billion times. I don't know. He's appeared in court for a pre-trial hearing yesterday.
Completely shaven.
Completely. Well, you would.
He was
wouldn't you?
Shrove.
You would, wouldn't you?
He was
Because
Shroven.
You know what? Big bushy beard implies
Negligence.
negligence.
And so there's the kind of dash cam looking footage of him on set.
Yeah.
Massive beard. Which
Yeah.
is the character, to be fair.
Exactly.
But it implies that he's
It
very
implies
stressed.
just like, what, you can't even shave your face? Of course he killed the bitch. Not the bitch, the lady. Yikes. Sorry.
But then him being completely Shroven
Shroven. A bountiful Shroven boy.
does make him look, one,
What are you
silly, 2, stupid, and
Silly and stupid.
3, uglier. Well,
Right.
he's not really meant to be Shrove.
No.
Because he's
a hairy, rugged, sexy
yeah,
boy.
that's what he needs that.
Because he's one of the guys who can, he pulls off the classic dad bod well.
Yeah,
And
so-
I feel like to do the dad bod, you need to be non-Shrove.
So I don't know if that's going to work against him because he looks like a Shroven sheep or like pathetic or
Yeah. No,
if you shave an alpaca, they'll lose a lot of their
with their charm.
and so I think he's going to lose that. In
Fur
front
is
of
friendly.
Yeah, so I think
And it's
he'll lose
also
that.
it's a bit suspicious.
If you look at his hairstyle, I think it was a mistake. I know what it was going for,
Yeah.
but it's a mistake.
Okay.
It
Well,
definitely works against him. And also
Well,
interesting,
yeah.
he's not being charged as a producer.
that's what I think I was
So the
sent this
producer
morning.
role has been outed. I
So
don't know if they're going on the same lines as us, which is fucking Alec Baldwin. He's got better shit to do.
Yeah.
But maybe they are.
Maybe they are.
Maybe they're like he was in 30 Rock for like 7 seasons.
Yeah. But as we
he shouldn't be
discussed,
across paperwork.
No, and he won't be.
He's
a money man.
Yeah.
Of course he's not.
He's not even a money man.
Obviously-
he's a superstar.
Obviously the armorer.
He's a face man.
Obviously the armorer is in charge of this, and
Yeah.
she's rotting in jail right now.
She's probably snuck in skunk in her arsehole.
and fake and real bullets, and it's confusing them at the time.
I saw a TikTok from prison just before this started at
I've seen
HMS.
too many from prison.
Yeah, and I guess I never really thought about. In my head, I guess because you watch prison films,
Not me specifically.
but one watches prison films.
Right? Yeah.
I kind of feel that they don't have tellies and phones, but they obviously they do. 'cause
Most of the prison films you're watching are in like America, hardcore maximum security prisons.
or it's in like the 50s or something.
Yeah, and because there aren't like amazing stories in minimum security prisons where people are in there for tax fraud. No one fucking cares.
One of the least security. This
Prisoners have the most freedom out of anywhere in the country.
This is Norwegian prison where they play a PlayStation all day.
One man is in here for tax evasion. Yeah, so that's why. But no, I've seen a few. I watched Gordon Behind Bars not that long ago.
Gordon Brown.
Gordon Ramsay.
Is he been put away?
No, he was teaching them to cook. Teach them how to fish,
Gordon
etc.
behind bars. Was it good?
No, it wasn't one of his better ones.
No.
He brings it, obviously.
Yeah.
But, and yeah, there you see in UK prisons it's more relaxed anyway, a little bit. I don't know about the maximum security ones.
But this one, it looked dodgy. Like the light was flickering. It was HMS Wandsworth, which is pretty bad.
That's
one, I think.
down the road, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, and I think that's a pretty high security one.
Yeah.
It's a pretty big deal. And it was during the England game, right? So
Yeah.
the prison cell looked how I imagined it looked. It looks how it does in the movies, right?
Yeah.
But he does have a telly in there.
Yeah.
And he's watching the England game, and they're all watching the England game. I think they're all watching it individually in their cell. And it was just after Trent's penalty went through,
And
they
it-
went to
yeah.
the semi-final. So everyone's just screaming.
Yeah.
It sounds like it's a horror film, basically.
Yeah.
But
So what you're saying is take TVs away from prisoners and put poison in the bins.
no, I'm just like, I guess I didn't really think about it.
Yeah.
But I didn't know that you could be in prison. You're watching telly and posting TikToks.
The posting of the TikToks has been there's a theme.
it's
I've
interesting.
seen a few. And
Like,
because like surely you shouldn't be allowed to post TikTok, surely, because that's like you can commit
Is
more
that for
crimes.
people who are not criminals?
I don't necessarily. I'm not really going at it from a moral point of view, but I feel like we shouldn't.
Because if I was in prison, I'd start doing like Jack Joseph style
Get ready with me.
sketches.
Yeah.
I'll do like comedy sketches, but like never mention that I'm in prison.
Yeah,
'cause
make it really relatable just to prison life. No one else gets it.
No, don't bring up that I've been in prison. It's just the same sort. It's so relatable.
Right. So
And
you're
then
doing
it's
like Harry Potter sketches, but just in the canteen of HMS Wandsworth. Never mentioned.
We're just kind of more in my room. Maybe I'm doing like football content as well. Where I'm talking,
I mean, what else are you gonna do?
And it's more like, is that guy?
Is he incarcerated?
Yeah.
I think he might be incarcerated.
It's
no,
all
I've seen
like,
a few.
imagine if Italian back was just like
Yeah,
it's
because
just all the same
setting-
stuff.
Because the setting of those sketches aren't really important.
But as opposed to there being like his girlfriend or sister behind camera, it's clearly another inmate
It's
going.
Barry the Cleaver. Doing time for organised crime and grievous bodily harm. Can you zoom in a bit more, Barry? You've got to go in and out, like, make it kind of dynamic. Yeah, no, there's been more prison content, which, you know what, I'm yet to... I feel like,
But then in some ways...
we shouldn't see in prisons. But,
Yeah.
but then you should. Accountability is always a good thing.
Yeah. And I guess in some ways the real prison is our phones.
Oh,
Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? Because if I'm in prison and they take away my phones, I'm like, oh, great, I'm free. Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
It's
Finally get to see the world. You come out of prison being like, wow, that was the best social media detox I've ever had.
Yeah, I'm going away for 15
Just
years.
looking at one picture on the wall,
for
like-
3 counts of manslaughter. Hey
Yeah.
guys, just warning you, I'm going to be on a social media detox. If you want to message me,
Gonna be offline for a while.
You just got to send mail to my warden.
Don't include any sharp objects in anything. It's not going to get through processing. But yeah, just fancied a bit of a cleanse.
I needed a bit of a step
That is a
back.
fucking great way to inform your followers that you're going to prison. I do like that. Just need to kind of step back and reflect, get away from the screens.
Or just any prisoner is just
Yeah.
just going on social media
Yeah.
detox.
Rust is... I saw Louis Theroux went on Theo Von's podcast recently.
Yeah, and he was. I quite liked his energy.
Yeah, no, they look really good. Well, Theo's the best.
I did slag off through a little bit, and I think he's come round. Because there was a period where I was off with him.
We did. I listened to
He
him
was
on
getting
off.
a bit. He believed his own
Hollywood.
hype. He was getting a bit smug.
Hollywood.
But
You
what I
drank the
liked
Kool-Aid.
about this is that he was being a catty and bitchy.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? It's nice. You got off your high horse, and now you're in the dirt with the pigs.
I wouldn't describe him as in the dirt with the pigs necessarily, but no, because I heard him on one off menu and I was like, it was the only off menu I've listened to for some reason. But he was
Suspicious.
odd. But he was. I didn't like his vibe on there, but I've solely judged him on that one appearance. Other than because he's the nation's sweetheart, and he was
Sure.
firmly within my heart during
Yeah.
that when I was watching the old docs. But then I didn't realize pull the curtain down behind Theroux.
Yeah.
Let's do a
Less
documentary.
weird weekends.
Let's
Less
do a
how
doc-
am I doing?
Don't love it.
No, it's not great. I wish I hadn't said that.
Well, I was kind of saying the same thing without. Documentary of behind the mask, Theroux the Looking Glass.
Through the needle.
There it is.
Yeah,
That's
that's
the name.
good, that's good.
Theroux the Looking Glass.
Yeah.
Through the Looking Glass, the dark secret behind Britain's most beloved documentary filmmaker.
And what's that?
It's like a expose on Theroux.
But what's the...
That he's just a bit like mean sometimes.
Dun, dun.
Yeah. Bad appearance on Off Menu.
You thought he was incredibly rarely mean.
Well, listen to this small clip from
mean
Off Menu.
Slightly more than you would
Yeah.
expect.
He talks a bit, he's quite arrogant. But so Rust, he was on Theo Von's podcast.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of both of them,
Yeah.
although we had previously slagged Theroux off. But yeah, he's making amends. And yeah, I saw a clip from it. I didn't see the whole thing. So again, I'm judging this off a 2-minute clip or something.
Hey, that's what the pod's about. That's what
But
they
they were talking about, and they were going with a bit, they were rolling with a bit. So we've been there. We've been there a few times. 2 minutes, bloody times off, right?
We're there right now.
What's going on? So
Please kill me.
So they were doing a bit about, Hollywood seems to be the only place where you could kill someone and still have a career. And they were talking about Rust. So my ears pricked up as a Baldwin truther.
Yeah.
And at the end of the clip, Theo was a bit like.
I do think you got the clip slightly wrong. I don't think that's what they said.
Well, no. So at the end, Theo was like, at the end, it's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy that they've got like the armourer rather than the guy who pulled the trigger. That's what you said. You're shaking your head, but that doesn't work on a podcast.
I'm agreeing with you.
Right. Okay.
But I'm shaking my head at Theo because
Yeah.
I'm like, lad, I know that your pod isn't entirely focused on the trial of Ross, so you won't be across the detail like we are, but you couldn't be more wrong.
Well, no.
You couldn't be more wrong.
But
Theo.
he isn't across like he knows all the details.
Yeah.
Just from that statement, he knows the details. He's making like a value judgment, saying, "Well, he pulled the trigger, so he deserves to go down."
I just think
we've got to get more people on Baldwin's side here.
Well, it should be more like that the utilitarian philosophical problem of the
Why
trolley.
is the trolley problem?
The trolley's come up
once?
so much,
Did we bring
and
it
I think
up last
someone else
podcast?
brought the trolley problem as well. The trolley problem.
I did last.
You
podcast.
did, but I think someone else did out and about.
2 trolley problems and problem.
I think BB brought the trolley problem.
BB didn't bring up the trolley.
Yeah, she would. She
problem.
doesn't fucking know.
BB didn't bring
She
up
brought the
trolley
shopping trolley problem. Can I have some more cake in here?
No, take that high five back. Didn't realise the cake was coming in. I withdraw the high five. Was the trolley problem? I can't say problem.
The mouth problem.
I like that. Simple but effective. Was that on the Patreon? Who cares? It doesn't matter. The trolley problem. How does it apply to this situation? Yeah, we'll see you there.
It's kind of one of those debates. I would bring that up in a philosophy class. Is it the armourer or the guy who pulls the trigger?
Yeah,
it's sort of.
But I think it's so fucking obvious that it's not
clearly
even worth. Like, it's not even. It can't even be compared to the trolley problem because there is no real quandary here.
Not to dwell on Rust.
Quandary
too
and
much.
dwell. Oh, fucking hell. Quandary and dwell in the space of 10 seconds is pretty.
One of Baldwin's defences is I didn't even pull the trigger, and I feel like
Don't even get down that route. Don't
go
even
down
go
that
down the
road.
road. Be like,
Baldwin-
I'm acting. Someone handed me a gun.
I bet you did pull the trigger, Baldwin, and I feel this is the lie that could topple everything. I think you had it in the
Yeah.
bag, and this is what you got scared.
The lawyer should be like, it doesn't matter if he pulled the trigger or not. He was acting. If any one of us were were acting and had to shoot someone off screen with a gun, you're going to pull the fucking trigger.
Yeah.
You're just going to presume that the gun wasn't loaded.
And I don't like that he thinks that the trigger pulling is going to be it doesn't even matter.
I think maybe they're going for he didn't even pull the trigger, but that's going for a faulty gun thing. But the fact is, if he's not on trial as a producer, it doesn't matter. I don't think any of that matters because, like, clearly the gun shouldn't be loaded by the time it gets to Alec Baldwin. Clearly, that's not his fault.
Yeah.
So if they're trialing him as a producer, he could be involved in that apparatus. If he's just an actor, no.
Our kind of view is that it's not actually that interesting. That's kind of our take.
Yeah,
our take
it's crazy that this has gone to trial. We're surprised
it's
he's
crazy
even
that
in
we
a
talk
courtroom.
about it so much because our real hot take is this is actually incredibly boring.
It's because it's so easy. It's like, well, obviously
done.
he's
It's the
innocent.
It's the woman doing crack right now.
Yeah, you know the lady that smuggled in loads of drugs. Got confused between the 2 bullets. Had a case that includes. She had a bucket.
She has a fake Rasta hat on, which I think's offensive.
Wait, does she?
No, she
Right.
but she
I've
might
kept
as well.
abreast, but I was like, how did I miss that?
That's how much weed she's smoking. She has a fake Rasta hat.
And she actually had a box mixed
And
with
she
both
wears some-
live and fake ammunition. Case closed.
Yeah, she has a ream pants and she plays hacky sack in between takes.
Yeah.
She's
and then
careless.
just chucks bullets at people to be like, yeah, use those ones. They should be clean. Yeah. Well, we'll see. Well, this is the trial. It is annoying.
Yeah.
Well, actually, it gives us good content for a while to get through these interim episodes
peek
as well.
behind the wizard's curtain.
Precisely. And look,
Don't let them
Look
know
what
what else-
wonders lie. Very few.
The election. Should we talk about the bloody
Yeah,
election?
we should probably.
There's a new king.
The Lecky.
The king is
the
dead.
Lecky Sweck. Let's just double check because this
Long
might
live the
be-
king.
If there's any, because this is we've done a Goodbye Studio, cashless and alone, Euros.
Well, the election's the big thing, right?
Yeah, just
We should
checking.
talk about
Yeah.
that.
And then we can call it the election. We'll do 10. We'll do 2 men's on it. Call it the
The election. They said
Yeah.
what about the election?
Shockwave sent through Britain.
So I watched a tiny bit of the election coverage. There was I watched it up until like midnight, so I didn't see any seats getting called. But I did see something which was awesome. No, I did see one seat getting. Oh no, it was the projections, right? So I saw it during the exit poll. Yeah, and they got a Tory MP. They have lots of different guests on throughout the evening.
Yeah,
to talk
yeah,
about
yeah.
it. And at the beginning of the night, they had this Tory MP, I forgot what his name was. He had dark hair and glasses.
Jacob Rees-Mogg.
Might as well been.
Sir Jacob. Yeah,
Sir Jacob.
Sir Jacob Rees-Mogg. What's the bloody difference between them anyway?
But it was awesome because they had exit polls and
he was there.
To him live,
Yeah.
they told him that the probability of him winning his seat was under 1%, which was awesome. Because
That's
they went
tough.
they were going through all the politicians, the probability of them winning their individual seats, and he sat there.
Going, right.
He took it well. But it was kind of like, I thought it was interesting how the BBC did it, because they had the
Who was it? Was it the lady who does Politics Live? Because she's got a firm hand.
Well, it was actually multiple people, because there was... They go to the guy on...
Wasn't Alistair Campbell on it?
At some point.
Yeah.
But there was a lady with a big board who's pointing at the exit polls, right? And she's going through individual elections seats, probability of winning. So it's like, oh, Ian Duncan Smith, 48%. He might lose it, he might not. Da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
You know, and she goes through it, and then she points at his, and then goes, yeah, and sorry, Daniel, or whatever his name is.
Yeah.
It's a shame, but you got 1%, you know. And just like moving on like that. But I don't know. I guess you should. But part of me is like,
leave him alone.
Well, wait till he's finished, and then you can talk about it. Do you know what I mean? It felt a bit. He's come there. He's.
Just that slight exhale of breath, being like, come on. Yeah, I guess so.
You know,
but it's it's election night. You face the facts. It's a cutthroat world.
And then Wes Streeting. So I've.
The thing, he kind of looks like this.
There's so many new politicians I haven't got.
Do you know what I mean?
I don't know who any of these guys are anymore. But
He
Wes
kinda looks
Streeting,
like that.
yeah. And
He looks like a jelly bean.
Is he a homosexual gentleman?
I bloody know if he was. I'd have his I'd have his number if he was.
Because he gives me vibes that he's a homosexual gentleman.
Where's Streeting gay? ? Streeting had previously left the Labour Party because he opposed its decision to enter the Iraq War, but argued that Streeting came out as gay in his second year of university.
Oh, you know, he reads as someone.
Gaydar on point. clap for the Gaydar.
He said boat, and he was trying to do an analogy about boats, about like the election, and he said, and he said boat 15 times. Out of 30 words, he said boats 15 of them.
That's not true, is it?
No, it's not true.
Yeah, cool.
I said I was going to stop hyperbole.
I'm going to give you a chance to do that. Here's you've got 30 words, or 20. Just do every other word. Well, you've got that chance. You can't just say, then I went and saw
boat that...
It needs to be every other word.
All right. The boat... no, it doesn't have to be every other word.
Thank you. Yeah, or are you going to stack boats at the end? You can't stack boats. No stacking boats. Because you can't say boat. No...
I can say boat.
I'm going to give you a hand here. You could use boat as a verb.
To boat this boat election...
No, that doesn't make any sense.
Because it's a boat election.
Why is it a boat election?
Well, it might be.
Yeah, fine. Yeah, to vote this boat election.
It's a boat election.
Yeah.
Boats.
No.
To vote this boat election.
Boats must boat.
To not vote this boat election. Boats mustn't vote.
Boating boats?
Is boating count?
What is boating?
Can you say boating?
Yeah, boat. No, can't. It should be boats, yeah. Boats. You can say boats, but not boat.
To boat. Okay.
Yeah, we've done enough.
That was a pretty good stab.
Yeah, because to be fair, that should have knocked off the result of the general election as a top headline. If he managed to do every other word in a boat metaphor, I'd be like, that is. Well, and if it made sense.
So I guess this is a boat election. That's what happens when it's boat elections, when we're choosing who's going to be the next boat.
We've been saying it for months. If there's anything, this is going to be a boat election decided by the boats for the boats.
So how do you feel?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, good. I'm optimistic about it. I feel quite, this is a nice,
Did you vote for Labour?
That is none of your ball.
Yeah.
Yes, I did.
I changed my mind last minute.
Did you?
I'd gone in because as you'd swung me round to Labour.
Yeah.
Just saying, oh bloody hell!
I was like, just shut up and be a belly.
And then I was. You kind of actually intimidated me, and it was voter intimidation. Actually,
it's actually not the first time I've done that. I made my mum vote for Corbyn.
Did you?
Yeah.
You intimidated her. So you like to intimidate people. This is
it's my second count of voter fraud, 100%.
And I was walking down with you and Adam, and it just felt like we're just sleepwalking into a Labour supermajority. So I voted Tory in the end. No, I voted
Green.
I voted Green last minute.
Yeah.
And it was just a a two fingers.
A two fingers to every fat head.
And it's kind of getting them points on the board. Might as well.
Yeah.
You know.
Maybe might as well. I don't know. It's always
Obviously, they're never going to be in power.
This is a good practical.
So they had 1 million spending pleasures. You know, they can just say what they want, right?
Well, that's kind
of the point.
No, not really.
You can say I'm going to spend £1 million.
I don't know. It's kind of one of
kisses.
it's kind of one of for the left the first kind of optimistic election we've had in a long time. So I just kind of wanted to get involved with the actual practical thing that's going to happen here. And there
sound like Keir Starmer.
Sound like Keir Starmer.
We're no longer the party of protest. We're the party of
It's not great.
power.
No,
have you got a Starmer?
I need
Keir
to.
Starmer. It's kind of he goes sharp,
But at the end,
it's like a very tight Adam
very
Curtis.
enunciate. Yes, I suppose.
No, I'm not going to get it. Please listen to him.
Yeah, it was just, and it's weird that so the big thing is that he got less votes than Corbyn, which I know sort of skews the data, but our worst election compared to the best election.
It spoils the broth. We don't excuse the data on this podcast.
Yeah, it spoils, too much data spoils the election analysis.
What skewed the data?
Have you noticed, does it feel like the sound in this room
Weird.
is weird? It's changed.
It's echoey.
It feels...
Because there's no shit around.
Yeah, because it's empty.
Yeah.
It's felt more... I guess I feel more exposed.
Yes.
It's more like, what are we actually talking about?
What are we doing? There's been... Actually, there's been like 3 moments I've gone... What? I guess
it's because you hear yourself again.
Yeah,
because it bounces. And then
you
you're
hear
like,
it as if they're
How it's fucking stupid. I just said boat 50.
That wasn't even funny and it was stupid. What's fucking wrong with you? I'm feeling moderately optimistic.
Yeah, he's ready to get the job done.
Get the job done.
No, but I don't know. It's also it's a good step. We need to get the bloody Tories out.
It's fun the idea that they're all losing seats. That was great.
Yeah. Well, it's like the thing in France.
Yeah,
maybe a little bit, but it is. I don't know whether I'm like buying the mainstream media's shit that they're chucking at my mouth, and I'm just gobbling it up.
He loves it.
Gobble gobble.
Well, you're an LBC dad now, aren't you? You wake up, you listen to Nick Ferrari, you say, "Well, that's bloody sensible."
Well, that makes a lot of good sense to me. Yeah.
Whereas I'm at heavy metal punk night saying, what if we all lived in a hut?
Vote Green!
Yeah, what if we fucking burned down the Shard and went back to fucking, living in a sand pit?
Because you get your news off the back of cereal packets. So that's exactly why. But I don't know whether, it's obviously, actually, the reality is it's impossible to tell. But there is he does seem a fuckload more competent, just as a basic...
He's a smart man.
A smart man.
Yeah.
Just as a basic... I'm not talking about the party policies or anything. I'm just talking about how he presents as a leader, which isn't actually the most important thing, obviously. But he seems far more put together. The way he's been answering questions thus far, I'm like, he is actually answering them.
It's quite nice not to have a carousel of clowns.
Oh, wow. Episode title.
I need to work at Private Eye. I need to do the satirical
carousel
cartoons.
of clowns comes to it. Close.
Yeah.
The circus is out of town.
Yeah.
And they're kicking out bearded ladies.
And
Petty.
so
that was satire.
The chance with Starmer is that because he ran such an uninspiring campaign and that was super tactical, some people have been saying that he's like a Trojan horse, right? So he's going to be like, I just believe everything that everyone else believes, and then he gets in, and then it's fucking party time. And then it's like, I'm gonna elect,
release all the
Malala
prisoners
to be foreign secretary.
Yeah.
Really good progressive policies.
Every prisoner gets 3 TVs.
Yeah. Greta Thunberg becomes queen.
Yeah, queen, right, yeah. Yeah, that's a bold move.
But now I'm in. No one can stop me. But
I don't know.
At the cabinet, so we got 3 honeys and David Lammy.
3 honeys?
Yeah.
There's more than 3 honeys
3 queens.
in the cabinet.
The top.
Yeah. No, it's honey. It's honey central. It's honey central.
Fair play, lad.
David Lammy's got his own LBC show. I wonder if he'll continue that. He's foreign sec now, isn't he?
Probably too busy.
Probably too busy.
I'd hope so. I hope he doesn't.
Yeah, I'd be like, can you stop talking to me at drive time? No, well, oddly, I get the boat metaphor in a way. You know? Like is this the time for properly dreaming of the future that we want, or is this the time to stabilize the boat a bit?
It's true,
because it's chaos. We need I think we need a first. Things
really boring,
things aren't going to
true.
absolute shit, and then we can be like, right, let's do this stuff.
And it is true. It feels like a lot of the far left, they're kind of saying this, but they also deeply know it's like until we get any money, we can't actually do anything.
It's so pointless doing it like.
So we kind of have to just sort of do really boring, normal.
Yeah.
This kind of has to be business as usual for ages.
Yeah. Well, it's just like admin work for a bit. It seems,
Yeah.
you know, stabilizes shit. Which
Or like revolution, we burn it all. Like that's kind of what they would be saying, right? Like
yeah, well,
Farmer.
it depends.
Yeah.
I don't know. Because usually I'm kind of in that mind, but I don't know why I'm not really there for this one.
I just want.
there's no really
It'd nice to have a bit of cash,
bit of Wonga,
a bit of Wonka going about.
a bit of dosh, yeah. Well, yeah. Anyway,
But what do you think about the election? The first past the post and all that, because it is kind of mad that he's got less
is
votes
mad.
and then he's got the most seats ever or whatever.
yeah, it is.
And he's
it's-
got like 30% of the vote share. So a third of the vote share and then 2/3 of the seats.
I think it's become first past the post is kind of less relevant in a more globalized world in some ways. Because the whole idea is that you have someone directly representing the interests of your parish. Do you know what I mean? It was
Yeah.
like a bit more for like villages and.
It's like the sheriff.
It is.
It used to be like the sheriff.
It is like
Yeah.
we need someone to stick up for what we want in Hogsmeade. That's Harry Potter. Yeah,
You know.
you've got, and obviously that still needs to happen to quite a lot of extents. But that's like for the bigger places, you've got mayors. You know,
Yeah.
I'm not really sure how much we need like a voice for Tower
How much
Hamlets.
is
Do you know
Farage
what I mean?
getting deep down into Clacton local matters?
No, he's not. No, but that's well. You obviously need some of that, but that was the argument for first past the post.
I mean,
Whereas
Matt Weston,
now,
the Leamington guy, he cared a lot about constituents.
it's true. It's
you know.
true. Almost too much.
And that's probably what's going to hold him back from having a.
Exactly.
I probably wouldn't want to be foreign sec because he'd be so worried about
Yeah.
trip hazards
Yeah.
on Leamington Road.
Pointing at potholes, going, "This is unacceptable." It's like, "Well, you're in charge, mate."
We had a local MP called Matt Weston, Labour MP, who we voted in. It'd been Tories. The students came together.
students
We
came
voted
together.
in, and he was a great. You know, he had a real love for public service, and he posted on his Facebook a picture. It was one of my favourite political pictures ever.
Yeah.
Which is him on Leamington High Street. There was like a small. How do you describe it? Like the bottom of a metal pole jutting out.
Yeah, that's the only way.
Yeah,
to
it's probably
describe it. There's not a name for that.
Yeah. And then he was crouched in sort of a Jeremy Kyle style crouch.
Very
right?
concerned.
And I've never seen anyone more concerned. And he's pointing at it. And it was
Was
about...
this pre-election?
No, this is
Post.
this is him just doing,
Yeah.
you know, just general politics. And it was about the trip hazards on Leamington High Street.
I didn't trip once.
No, nor did I. But, you
But
know,
like,
that's
it-
the kind of passion.
Yeah. that we
That's
should
what
bring
First
to-
Past the Post was built for.
Yeah. To sort out like potholes. Obviously, there is still local matters. They're important. That's true, but
Yeah.
like it feels like, you know, what I don't know. What's more important, having like your local voice represented or having a more representative national
Yeah.
voice in the guy or girl who's actually in charge?
I reckon if Reform and Tories got together and they made Farage leader, I think he'd win next election. Would be my thought.
He's already thinking about the next election. This guy is Mr. Politics.
Brain Gould 2028.
No.
No. Should we? Let's wrap up. We're gonna go to the Patreon now. I guess some sort of like. It'd be nice to like sing Old Lang Syne or something.
Yeah.
Well, it's more. I want.
But
I want like a little boat with a candle on it, and it's sort of we
Just-
push it out,
let's do this.
or like a Viking burial of the podcast.
Let's solemnly look at the sign
Okay.
and then edit in. We'll think of the. Let's leave the song a surprise, but we'll edit in an appropriate song, one that's relevant to the podcast and one that's kind of pensive and sad.
Goodbye. Goodbye to the people who hated on me. Goodbye to the people who loved me. Goodbye to the people who trusted me. Goodbye, goodbye to everybody. Goodbye to the people who hated on me. Goodbye to the people who loved me. Goodbye to the people who trusted me. Goodbye, goodbye to everybody. Now I need some changes in my life. Now I need to move on in life.